Hi Scorpio, welcome to your Celtic Cross reading. Just before I started recording, the power went out, so I imagine this is going to be an interesting reading. Already getting a lot of energy. So it is going to be a Celtic Cross reading, but to start out, I'm going to do a pre-shuffled oracle card from the True Love Oracle. I was looking for the box, but I can't find it. The True Love Oracle by Belinda Grace. And you have pulled worthiness. A reminder that you are worthy just the way you are, not to rely on other people to like you. I think it even said in the book, not everyone you meet is going to like you. I feel like if any zodiac understands that, it's Scorpio. I'm a Leo, so I do not understand that. I want everyone to like me all the time. Anyways, let's get started with that in mind, that the universe gave us worthiness as your oracle card today. It also recommended doing some mirror work, to stand in front of a mirror and find your own uniqueness and beauty. So yeah, let's get started. This is my coffee, so pardon me. I am doing this as I'm having my first cup of coffee of the day. First and only. It's a big cup, okay? All right. Your current situation, Scorpio, is the world. So, I feel like we're just dropping right in. You're at the end of a journey, a cycle ending. I think the thing about this card is that it's not cut and dry, right? It's not like cutting something in half and there's a distinct separation. A cycle ending can take a long time. Even in astrology, when we talk about like the age of Aquarius or whatever, there's decades long buffer. I don't think it's going to be that extreme for you, Scorpio, but I guess the thing to remember is that it's a marathon and not a race, and sometimes situations like this can feel like they'll never end, and they do. Crossing the world is the Ace of Cups. A potential new relationship, growing feelings, divine love. Typically we think of this as, a very positive card, but right now it's in your challenge position. For whatever reason, the potential of a new love is at odds with you ending a cycle. What comes to mind is how oftentimes we'll say, I can have love, success, whatever your dream is, when insert whatever thing we don't feel worthy about. When this cycle ends, when I lose weight, when I hit this career threshold. So with just these two cards on the table, I'm already kind of understanding why the universe gave us worthiness. You're worthy of all that you desire now, whether or not you're in the middle of an intense cycle ending or not, which apparently you are. Influencing energy, we get 5 of Coins. The 5 of Coins is feeling left out in the cold, isolated. It can be a dark night of the soul. And if you're in that energy, then if you're feeling isolated and down, again, it might be a feeling of not feeling worthy of love. I hope this is not just a reading of me telling you over and over, you are worthy, Scorpio, you are worthy, you are worthy. Though if it needs to be, that's what it will be, and I'm happy to tell you that as many times as you need. In your relevant past, we get the High Priestess. So the High Priestess is very complex. She can be seductive, of course, intuitive, representing hidden knowledge, other ways of knowing. What's coming to mind for me, and this is just an example of how this energy might play out, is I grew up evangelical, and the moment I lost my faith actually is pretty cut and dry. That cycle ended. I can really pinpoint when that happened. However, there was a time afterwards, like a long time, years long time, where I did feel left out in the cold. And I was struggling to access my intuition, and thinking about, well, if I don't have this Christian God to pray to, then who do I pray to? So even though the moment itself, I know exactly when that happened and can picture it very clearly in my mind, the actual ending of the cycle took quite a long time. Another way to think about it is if you are into writing, creative writing, fiction, the entirety of a novel is like you have the inciting incident, and then the rest of the novel is what happens because of that incident. And that in fiction, that's what makes the story interesting. In real life, it can feel overwhelming. In your exiting energy, we get the Ace of Coins. So the Ace of Coins is the beginning of a foundation, the beginning of stability. It can be the beginning of loyal and lasting love. That's interesting to have a cycle ending so very near to a beginning. That could have been like a recommitment of sorts. And your immediate future is the Four of Swords. And to me, this naturally follows a cycle completing. It's a time of resting, regrouping, reflection, recuperation. This is my card of the 4 R's. 4 swords, 4 R's. Going within and not necessarily putting yourself back together, but finding the healing power within. Again, going back to our oracle card, everything that you need, you already have within you. You don't need to look without to find it. In your strengths, we get strength. That's excellent. The strength card, inner strength, determination, but it's also about self-love and self-awareness, which I love to see that, because it means, at least to some extent, you're already aware of what's going on here, and so I don't need to, a lot of what I'm telling you is not going to be a surprise, if anything. In your environment, we get the 4 of Wands. So, you have certainly already met this Ace of Cups person, and at least on the surface level, you're presenting a happy front. celebration, romance, commitment. That's what you're presenting on the surface. But Ace of Cups is in the challenge. I am a little bit worried that what we have going on here is self-sabotage, Scorpio, because of feelings of worthiness or lack of worthiness. You are worthy of love. You are worthy of love. You are worthy of love. And your hopes and fears is the Six of Coins, giving and receiving. Equal giving and not equal giving and receiving. Let's say equitable giving and receiving. Support, generosity. That's interesting. That's in your hopes and fears, but a lot of people don't acknowledge. I think everyone knows that it's difficult, often more difficult to receive than it is to give. A lot of us feel really uncomfortable receiving. Think about receiving compliments or even like receiving a favor. In a capitalistic economy, it can start feeling like, oh, this person gave me something. What do I have to give them in return? And that's like faux equity, let's say. And something to remember when you start to get too worried about receiving is just thinking about how good it feels when you give something. The pleasure that giving gives. You give that pleasure to others when you receive. And that's including the universe. The universe often gives to us and we reject it for whatever reasons, usually feelings of worthiness. And your outcome is the Page of Wands. In this reading, I'm kind of getting that rushing in, rushing out, kind of self-sabotaging energy is like what I'm drawn to is this little fairy has a candle. It's like he's rushing off in the night. I'm not seeing really the other person here. I'm not seeing your person, Scorpio. I'm seeing you and your reaction to them. And they're bringing up a lot. Ace of Cups can be a divine connection, a soulmate connection, meaning that it's here to help you grow. And growth sometimes feels like breaking. At the very least, growth feels like uncomfortable. At the bottom of the deck is the Four of Cups. So, like I said, on the surface, you're presenting a celebratory attitude, but beneath the surface, you're disconnected, possibly fantasizing. This can be a card of refusing offers. And that's kind of what I'm getting with the Page of Wands here, is like being a free spirit. You know, sometimes that's great, but when it means leaving people high and dry whom you're supposed to be having Six of Coins relationship with, that's not exactly fair. This isn't set in stone. It is a choice, and maybe you choose that is what you want. And of course, roles can be reversed and all of that. But what I'm seeing right now is someone who's really afraid of this relationship, being aware of that fear, and possibly deciding that the fear is too much to deal with and moving on. That's what I'm seeing in these cards. We are going to clarify. I have strength at the bottom of the deck. Strength is in your strengths. Why is the world here for Scorpio? I thought my power came back on. Trick of the light. If you're new to the channel, and there's a huge likelihood that you are, since I just recently started the channel, I don't take flyers. By the end of the reading, I have like 30 plus cards on the table. And, you know, if the card wants to come out, it will come out. The Star is clarifying the world. And Six of Cups. Page of Swords, or sorry, Knight of Swords at the bottom of the deck. I get the feeling that you, Scorpio, feel like this person that you've met is everything that you've been hoping for. And possibly you never imagined that you could have a connection like this with somebody. And it feels to you that the timing is wrong. I don't think that's true, at least not for the reasons I'm getting from this reading. This is kind of a feeling of like, oh, I've got so much going on. Why couldn't I have met this person next month or 6 months from now? But this is a similar thing of like, when is the right time to have a baby? It's never a right time. You just gotta go. You just gotta do it. And if you decide to leave this person in the night, metaphorically, just kind of like ghosting, let's say. That's what this card is giving me, ghosting vibes. This is just going to happen again and again until you start to feel your own self-worthiness. So you are aware of what this connection means to you. Why is the Ace of Cups in the crossing position? Why is Ace of Cups in the crossing position? Ace of Wands. So not just the promise of a new relationship, but the promise of a passionate new relationship. And then Queen of Pentacles. And Eight of Wands. So male or female, this is the person that you're connecting with, somebody who you feel that they're very nurturing, sensual, that definitely getting the sensuality of the Queen of Pentacles with that Ace of Wands showing up here. Someone with a lot of love, a lot of passion to give. Somebody trustworthy. You're star, everything that you hoped for. And they're showing up in the crossing position. I feel like recently I've been getting a lot of readings where love is the challenge. I don't know if it's because people are experiencing a lot of swift change in their lives. Or it's like with all of the chaos in the world, people are wanting to really hold on to stability, and new love comes in and just shakes things up and is kind of the antithesis of stability, at least at first. I read something saying that people, when they fall in love, are less productive at work for like 12 months. Why is the 5 of Coins here in the influencing energy? Your mind is so consumed by the new person for you, Scorpio, the Queen of Pentacles, that it's hard to think about anything else. And that's a challenge if you're entering a new cycle, starting to build something new, and it is something that needs all of your focus and attention, but internally, biologically, your hormones are making it so that you can't concentrate. We get the Page of Swords clarifying, and the Knight of Swords, Page and Knight. So, Swords, of course, being about intellect, logic. The Knight of Swords is very ambitious, and it could be that it's your ambition that's like, you know, the stereotype of guys like, I can't get married until my career is off the ground. That's another example of like, I can have love when you can have love now. At the bottom of the deck we have transformation. Not surprising when the world ends or evolves. Going through intense transformation. What you thought you wanted, which you decided very logically, possibly made a pros and cons list, possibly made a 5-year plan, but you know, whatever you did it very logically without making space for love. And that's what's causing the 5 of Coins. In the relevant past, we have the High Priestess. Why is the High Priestess here for Scorpio? I know I'm a slow shuffler. Whenever I start to try to speed it up, though, and my energy speeds up, and then I get out of sync with the reading, and we get the Lovers and Strength showing up for the second time. King of Wands at the bottom. I'm seeing that as you, Scorpio, King of Wands. The King of Wands is a visionary, and that's exactly what I was talking about in the influencing energy. Having a 5-year plan is having a vision for your life. Even the act of making a pros and cons list is honing in on the vision of your life, what needs to be cut away. What I'm getting here, Scorpio, is that you are the one, you made the love offer. You might have chased, you made the love offer. And then realized, maybe, you made the love offer and it's what you want, but it scares you. You might be putting the Queen of Pentacles up on a pedestal. That's never a good thing. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it when that happens, because you set someone else above you and then you below, and again we're dealing with feelings of worthiness. You don't feel worthy of the Queen of Pentacles But the Queen of Pentacles wouldn't have accepted your offer if she thought that you were unworthy. Maybe, you know, the daughter of Pentacles might have done that, right? Again, male or female. Daughter of Swords, somebody, you know, less mature than a queen might have accepted someone who they didn't feel was worthy of them. But the Queen of Pentacles saw you as a king, a match. In the exiting energy, we get the Ace of Coins. Why is the Ace of Coins here? What's causing the disconnect, that Four of Cups overshadowing this entire reading, it's all coming from within. It's your own fears, it's your own doubts. And like I said, if you don't deal with them in whatever way, therapy, journaling, whatever, meditation, it's just going to happen again. We get the Emperor, clarifying the Ace of Coins, and we get the Queen of Wands. At the bottom is Eight of Swords, and under that is the World. Yeah, it's like you instigated this. You felt really strong and stable and instigated this and really believed in this offer you were making, and it paralyzed you. Again, I can only go back to because of feelings of self-worth. You are worthy of love. You are worthy of love. You are worthy of love, Scorpio. Just right now, looking at all of this, if this is a reading about deciding whether to stay or go with a Queen of Pentacles, I think regardless of the outcome, there's got to be some self-healing happening here. We get the Four of Swords clarified by Temperance and King of Wands, Queen of Swords under the bottom of the deck. Going in to solitude to rest and regroup, maybe deciding to embrace the King of Wands energy in regards to focusing on that vision of your life. Seeking balance. I do see the Queen of Pentacles not necessarily totally transforming to the Queen of Swords, but definitely starting to embrace those qualities, maybe a little bit cutting as you focus on your vision for the future very logically. You're bringing out that side of things in your counterpart, but I don't think in the way that you want. Scorpio, I see you very much focused on yourself, going from us to I, and your counterpart is definitely feeling that. Here you see I'm the Queen of Pentacles this is not a single character, there's two, and then here we have her transforming to one. Energy is very fluid, and we can shift between all of these aspects of ourselves very quickly. And as much as we can say, like, it doesn't matter what other people think about you, I think the book, what else did this book say? You are responsible for the quality of your own life and all of that. I mean, at the end of the day, hardly any of us are enlightened, and as much as we aim for that feeling of total worthiness coming from within, our actions affect other people, and other people's actions affect us. And then underneath that, on that note, underneath the Queen of Swords, we get the Five of Swords, which is competition. And again, we have that us to I, we to I, and then under that we have the Tower. This is all, you know, none of this is set in stone. And the Tower, I think there's still time to fix the foundation. The foundation is, what am I going to say? Self-worth. That's the faulty foundation that all of this is built on, is a foundation where I'm not saying like, oh, I think you're so pathetic and all of that. All of us have aspects of our life where we feel less worthy and more worthy, more confident, less confident. You're gonna have to locate within yourself what aspect it is that needs your attention if you want to minimize the damage of a potential tower. Why is the strength in Scorpio's strengths? Why is strength card here? You're saying that your strength is self-love, self-awareness, determination. You might be leaning a little too much into the determination side of things and not enough into the love side of things. We get the Hierophant. So you might be holding yourself back by being very focused on traditions. This is how things have always been done. This is the way things are supposed to be. A little bit of rigidity in that strength. And then we actually have the Ace of Pentacles showing up again, with the Knight of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck, slowly, surely working towards your goals and your future. Okay, in the environment, we have the Four of Wands. Why is the Four of Wands here? Page of Wands showing up again. That's your outcome as well as your current environmental energy. And Seven of Cups. Seven of Swords at the bottom of the deck. Again, I think I said when I pulled this card without getting any clarification, to the world you're presenting Four of Wands. But underneath that is like a... This is what you wanted. Maybe you still want, but part of it's making you feel trapped. And because you're feeling trapped, you're starting to look at all of the other options, things that could have been, might still be. Maybe you're a commitment phobe. I don't know. But what you're presenting to the world is not what's happening below the surface. And if you don't address what's happening below the surface, it could be the ending of another cycle. We have Six of Coins. and your hopes and fears. Not all relationships are meant to last forever, so I'm not going to be the one to tell you that you need to fix things with this Queen of Pentacles. But I can see here showing up over and over again that there are aspects of yourself that need some love. We get the Hanged Man and 5 of Cups and 3 of Pentacles. And underneath that is justice, cause and effect. Our actions have consequences. Your fears are equally as strong as your hopes. You want, like I said, this is something that you want, but it's making you feel trapped. You want to build a solid foundation with somebody new, but you're also really afraid. What does that mean? Because even in tarot, we can't divin so far into the future. My ex is Hindu, and his parents had our compatibility charts done when we first started dating, and the astrologer said that we were a really good match. Apparently he didn't look 8 years into the future, right? But that, I don't regret the time that I spent with him, and I'm glad the astrologer didn't look that far into the future and say, well, ultimately this is not going to work out, so don't go for it, because I learned and grew so much with him. And then eventually I think that we both learned what we could. And it was a very painful ending, but that doesn't negate all of the love that we had for each other. What I'm trying to say is that if you don't take action because you're afraid of getting hurt, you just end up still causing yourself hurt, just a different kind. Page of Wands, and your outcome is clarified by 2 of Wands and 4 of Wands, with 10 of Wands showing up at the bottom of the deck, 6 of Coins showing up under that. But then under that we have the 10 of Swords, the 7 of Pentacles, and the Devil. I'm kind of getting someone here who's kind of stuck in a loop, stuck in a negative cycle, where we have, without all of the other cards, to see Page of Wands, 2 of Wands, 4 of Wands, that looks really exciting and beautiful. And so, Scorpio, I get you still pursuing. It's like you're being pushed forward by inertia. And there is love here, but underneath it, there's still fears, worries, and anxieties. And if those fears, worries, and anxieties are not dealt with, you might have an inevitable ending. But I don't think that's, I know that's not set in stone. I used to think when I was like 16, like if things didn't flow naturally and easy with a romantic partner, then it wasn't meant to be. The truth of the matter is that we can learn to be better relationship partners. We can learn relationship skills. The fact that they're called relationship skills mean that it is something that we can and should learn. I see hope, but it's up to you. And actually being self-aware and not being rigid. Even when thinking about Ace of Pentacles, thinking about avoiding a tower, meaning thinking about having a solid foundation, I'm thinking right now about like suspension bridges, which I could be completely wrong because I'm not an engineer, nor am I really into bridges, but they allow movement. They're not entirely rigid, yet they're very stable, and millions of people drive over them every day. And going with this metaphor that may or may not be correct, that required people's imaginations, stepping outside of the box, stepping outside of the way things had always been done in order to create something strong and stable. We're going to close this reading out with 3 cards of advice and a bottom card from the universe, and then one final oracle card. Can I get some advice for Scorpio? Besides repeating the affirmation, I am worthy of love, I am worthy of love, I am worthy of love. You are worthy of love. You are worthy of love. You are worthy of love. The power is still not on. A little bit surprising. And that means I'm going to have to leave the house for lunch. The microwave's not working, stove's not working. Ooh, I hate leaving the house. Who can relate to that? 7 of Cups. Acknowledging that your judgment might be clouded is the first step. The Star. Remembering, what's that saying? Like, one day you're going to wake up and realize that life you're living is one that you had prayed for. And then Judgment. Self-evaluation. And then at the bottom, 4 of Wands. We had 4 of Wands showing up. And I feel like it showed up somewhere else too. Maybe it was like bottom. Oh, right. We have 4 of Wands in your environment. Got buried under a lot of cards. 4 of Wands in the outcome. And then 4 of Wands in your advice. And what I'm getting from that is like, it doesn't have to be surface level. If it didn't exist, if it wasn't existing for you, what am I trying to say? How can I put this into words? You wouldn't have it if you didn't deserve it. So stop doubting. I feel like I've said that so many times in this reading, but because I see and feel so much love, but I also see and feel so much fear. It's a really strong energy, the 4 of Wands in this reading, really strong. And your final card is the Badger and, I don't know how to say this, Ginkgo. Healing wounds. Enough said. Sorry, Scorpio. I tend to be really inappropriate in my reactions. I feel a lot of compassion for you because we've all been in this situation. And it's easy for somebody else to tell you that you're worthy of love. And it's easy to tell yourself that you're worthy of love, but another thing to believe it. All right, let's see. I'm gonna go with ginkgo. Ginkgo is a sacred and ancient tree. I thought it was a plant, like my pothos. Ginkgo is a sacred and ancient tree. Fossil records show the tree first arose in the Jurassic period, millions of years ago. Native to Asia, the ginkgo is a symbol of peace and hope in China and can be seen in temples and gardens in Japan. The badger, in contrast, is known to be hot-headed and aggressive. Due to its speed and tendency to roam at night, the badger is often cast as a sinister shapeshifter in European and Asian folklore. Tempered by ginkgo, the badger invites us to reflect on harm we may have caused and seek to heal old wounds. Your actions have hurt someone, apologize, and take steps to right your wrong, setting the stage for healing. Consider whether your own wounds have led you to inflict pain on others. Alternately, someone has hurt you. The person in question may not be aware of their wrong, but your pain is undeniable. Be gentle with yourself, lick your wounds so they can heal properly. And there are 2 questions to consider. Am I inflicting my own wounds on others? And what steps can I take towards healing? If either of those resonate with you, Scorpio, I'd love to hear your answers in the comments and anything else that might have come up for you during this reading. In any case, you are worthy of love, and I'll see you next time.